Next topic, National Policy on Disaster Management (NPDM 2009). The National Policy Framework represents a key component of India's strategy to address and mitigate the effect of disasters, aiming to reduce vulnerabilities and enhance the country's resilience. The National Policy on Disaster Management 2009 built upon the lessons learned from past disasters and the experience gained from disaster management efforts. Key objectives: reduce vulnerability, implement measures to minimize the risk and impact of disasters or vulnerable communities. Second, promote preparedness, enhance the preparedness of communities, institutions, and the government to effectively respond to disasters. Facilitate recovery, support recovery to restore normalcy and rebuild affected areas. Foster a culture of safety, encourage a culture of disaster safety and resilience among citizens and institutions. Next, challenges and future directions. While the National Policy on Disaster Management 2009 provides a comprehensive framework for disaster management, several changes remain. To address these changes, ongoing efforts are required to strengthen institutional mechanisms, enhance community engagement, and continuously update disaster management strategies based on evolving risks and vulnerabilities. Next topic, epidemics. Epidemics refer to the sudden and widespread occurrence of a particular disease within a community or region, significantly exceeding the expected number of cases. Epidemics occur when the incidence of disease rises sharply and rapidly, affecting a large proportion of the population in a short period. Characteristics of epidemics: outbreak pattern. The outbreak typically spreads from person to person or through environmental sources depending on the nature of the disease. Geographic scope. The geographic scope of an epidemic can vary widely. It may affect a small community, a city, or even extend to a larger region or country. Disease transmission. The transmission of disease during an epidemic can occur through various routes, including direct contact, contaminated water or food, and vectors like insects. Public health impact. Epidemics can have significant public health implications, including increased morbidity and mortality and socio-economic disruption. Principles of community-based disaster management: participation and empowerment. The foundation of CBDM is active community participation. Empowering community members fosters ownership and increases the likelihood of successful disaster management. Local knowledge and resources. By incorporating traditional knowledge and utilizing local resources, CBDM enhances the relevance, the effectiveness of disaster management strategies. Integration and coordination. CBDM integrates disaster management into broader community development. Coordinating with local authorities, organization ensures that disaster management efforts are aligned with other development in activities. Another development initiatives: inclusivity and equity. CBDM promotes inclusivity by ensuring that all community members are involved in disaster management efforts. Addressing issues of equity helps to ensure that everyone has access to resources and support in disaster impact and recovery. Sustainability. Ensuring that disaster management activities are sustainable and can be maintained over time is crucial. Next topic is social and economic rehabilitation. Social rehabilitation. This aspect emphasizes rebuilding social structures and relationships that have been disrupted. It includes providing support for mental health, promoting social integration. The goal is to foster social cohesion and help individuals regain a sense of stability and belonging. Economic rehabilitation. This involves restoring and enhancing the economic livelihood of affected individuals or communities. Key components including providing access to financial resources, creating job opportunities. The aim is to improve financial stability and self-sufficiency to rebuild their lives and contribute to the broader economy. Types of traditional knowledge. Traditional knowledge encompasses a wide range of cultural practices, beliefs, and skills developed over generations within communities. Cultural knowledge. This includes practices, rituals, and customs that define a community's identity. Ecological knowledge. This type involves understanding the relationship between organisms and their environments. Next is medical knowledge. This type refers to traditional healing practices. It includes knowledge of medical plants, natural remedies to healthcare. Technological knowledge. It involves skills and techniques used in daily life, such as agricultural practices and construction methods. Linguistic knowledge. It includes the preservation of linguistic heritage, proverbs, oral literature, and the use of language in cultural practices and ceremonies. The Indian Ocean Tsunami 2004. On December 26, 2004, one of the deadliest natural disasters in recorded history struck the Indian Ocean region. A massive undersea earthquake measuring 9.1 to 9.3 on the Richter scale triggered a tsunami that devastated coastal areas across 14 countries. The disaster, commonly referred to as the Indian Ocean tsunami, resulted in widespread loss of life, extensive property damage, and long-term socio-economic impacts. The Indian Ocean tsunami was caused by a colossal earthquake that occurred off the west coast of northern Sumatra, Indonesia. The quake originated along the boundary between the Indo-Australian plate and the Eurasian plate. The earthquake caused a vertical displacement of the sea floor, displacing a massive volume of water and generating the tsunami. Impact and devastation, human casualties, infrastructure damage, environmental impact, and displacement. Next, international response and relief efforts, humanitarian aid, reconstruction, early warning systems, long-term impacts and lessons learned, socio-economic recovery, disaster preparedness, international collaboration. Next topic, statutory provisions for mainstreaming disaster risk reduction. Statutory provisions for mainstreaming disaster risk reduction (DRR) are crucial in ensuring that disaster risk management becomes an integral part of national and local development plans. Some key statutory provisions commonly found across various countries are disaster management acts. Many countries have enacted comprehensive disaster management acts that establish the legal framework for disaster risk reduction and management. These acts typically outline the role and responsibilities of various stakeholders, including government agencies, local authorities, and civil society organizations. Next is national disaster risk reduction policies. Countries often formulate national policies on disaster risk reduction that align with international frameworks such as the Sendai Framework for Disaster risk reduction. Third, environmental protection and land use laws. Legislation related to environmental protection and land use plays a significant role in disaster risk reduction. Public health and safety regulations. Disaster risk reduction is also addressed through public health and safety regulations, which may include emergency preparedness plans, health infrastructure. Climate change legislation. Climate change laws often include provisions related to disaster risk reduction given the increasing frequency and intensity of climate related disasters. Next topic, Odisha super cyclone 1999. Odisha is one of the most disaster prone states in India, and disasters such as cyclones and floods are constant phenomena in this state. On 29th October 1999, a severe cyclone struck the coastal district of Odisha. The lifespan of the cyclone was around 6 days. More than 15 million got affected. The immediate response of the Odisha government to the super cyclone was the provision of relief to the affected and prevention of epidemic in the affected area. The government began this urgent task of clearing the roads of debris so that the army, state government, and NGOs could deliver relief material by truck to thousands of affected villages. Odisha State Disaster Management Authority (OSDMA). The government of Odisha constituted the Odisha State Disaster Mitigation Authority under the Societies Registration Act 1860. OSDMA was a government-owned autonomous body established in 1999 to have a systematic and planned approach to disaster management. OSDMA was the first state-level disaster management authority that was established in India. The major task of OSDMA is to concentrate on disaster preparedness, management, and social issues to disaster management. Next topic is relationship between disaster and development. Disasters refers to events that cause significant disruption to communities, loss of life, and economic and social upheaval. These can be natural or man-made. Development encompasses efforts or to improve the economic, social, and environmental conditions of a community or country. The impact of disasters on development, economic losses and disruption. Disasters can have devastating economic impacts, destroying infrastructure, homes, and building businesses. Social disruption, the social fabric of a community can be severely disrupted by disasters. Loss of life, displacement of people, and disruption of social services affect community stability. Health impacts, disasters often lead to health crises, including outbreaks of disease due to poor sanitation, lack of medical facilities, and overcrowded conditions in temporary shelters. Environmental degradation. Many disasters have significant environmental impacts such as deforestation caused by wildfires or pollution from industrial accidents. Development as a mitigation and recovery strategy, building resilience, integrated planning, economic diversification, community involvement, and international support and cooperation.